Okay. Welcome, everyone. If I could call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Givney, do we have a special person? Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done.
Well done. Thank you.
Good job. It's never easy to get up in front of people, is it? You did a fine job with it, though. Congratulations. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the December meeting of the Greencastle School Board. Let's see. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
Yep, I would like to add item 8I. This is what I sent to you via email today.
Okay.
And it's just a resolution to approve the Early Literacy Achievement Grant distribution that we just received from Indiana Department of Education.
Okay. All right. Moving on to recognitions. Do we need a motion? All right. I got ahead of myself on that one. I apologize. Can I get a motion to add 8I?
Motion.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any? Yep, there it is. All right. Motion passed.
Thank you.
All right. Now, before we have recognitions, we have going to be short a couple members this evening. So, Mr. Pierce and Mrs. Dory are both ill this evening and contacted me. So, everyone, please keep them in your thoughts. Hopefully, they get through with whatever they have. So, we're going to get through this with a short crew tonight. All right. Now, some recognitions.
Yep, Mr. Roberts, here to start.
Buzzing on my wrist. Okay.
Okay, well, I have one of our kindergartners from Ridpath. This is Bennett Ferris, and we have been talking all about self-control in the month of December. Bennett does a nice job showing self-control. He makes good choices by raising his hand to participate, keeping his hands to himself, working quietly when needed, and working well with others. He stays focused, participates during small and whole group class time, and he is a great listener. He follows all classroom and school procedures and really shines as a champion star. So give it up for Bennett Ferris.
Good evening. It is my honor to introduce you to Bailey Mounts, and Bailey is a second grader in Mrs. Riggle's class. And we also have been talking about self-control this month, and she has an enormous amount of self-control according to her teacher. She said that even when things are exciting, she controls her temperament, she controls what she's doing in class. And she said one of the things that she loves the most about her is that she is always thinking before she acts. And so she's thoughtful before she does things in recess and lunch and even in classes. So we are really proud of her this month. So our TZ self-control representative is McKinley Horn. McKinley is a fourth grader in Mrs. Mann's class. So McKinley was chosen as our December Student of the Month because she demonstrates excellent self-control. I can count on McKinley to be a positive role model to her class by not talking when she should be listening, She always turns her assignments in on time, and she never rushes through her work. She is kind to her classmates and tolerant of those who require additional patience. That's why I selected McKinley as my student of the month. And McKinley was an overwhelming nomination to represent our school as well. Great job. Right. This is Miss Evelyn. She is our December student of the month. She exhibits a lot of self-control. She's very thoughtful, mindful, diligent at her work. She's also extremely considerate. If she wants to have a conversation about something maybe she disagrees with or has more questions, she always does that in a polite, respectful way. So we are very proud of you and very thankful. And our entire 7th grade team, plus our choir as well, nominated you for December. So this is Evelyn.
So the high school student of the month is Kaylee Ames. She is a freshman, and she was nominated by Mr. Williams. He has swim tonight, so he wasn't able to be here. But Mr. Williams said that Kaylee has been an outstanding student in Spanish class since day one. She actively engages in all modes of communication, leads the classroom in grammar, and puts it all together when it comes to speak. Most impressively, and why self-control is such a key characteristic of hers, is Kaylee's ability to have fun while learning. She makes the most out of the classroom activities, and yet can get down to business when necessary. This characteristic sets her apart as both academic student and leader in the classroom. And she's also holds her own on her sporting recently with basketball, so we're very proud of Kaylee.
Okay, is that all?
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right, moving on to public comments, and I see by the sheet that we have none. Okay, moving on. All right, we have the approval of the consent agenda, which consists of meeting minutes for the regular board meeting of November 25th, 2024, posted on the door. Allowance of claims, financial report, personnel reports, part 1 and 2. Mrs. Roman.
Yes, hello. 2 regular payrolls for the month of November. You'll see on that November 8th payroll that it was a little bit higher than normal. That would have been our settlement payroll for the teachers. The new contract was negotiated and we did some back pay on that one. So that was a little bit higher on that one. And then with that came the retirement. And then the regular payroll for November 22nd was $481,221.47. And again, you had the taxes and the retirement on that. Did anyone have any questions about any of the payrolls? Okay, we'll move on to a list of prepays here for November 2024. As you took a look at the list, did anyone have any questions about the prepays for November? Nope. Okay. Total prepays for the month of November 2024, $344,177.56. And then next in your packet, you're going to have a list of claims that's dated today. And as you took a look at the list here, did anyone have any questions about anything on this list? Nothing unusual. About the only thing that we saw on prepays or on this one was just a semi-annual insurance payment, which is always substantial. But that was really about the only major difference on claims this month. So total for claims dated today, December 16th, $431,515.39. And then we'll move on to the fund report, balance and education fund at the end of November 2024, 3,705,156.93. About 3 more lines down to operations, you'll see Fund 300, and you're going to see that's in a negative at the end of November. Do not fear, our property tax distribution has arrived here in the month of December, so we're going to be back in the positive, so no worries on that. If you want to go ahead and go to the very last page, you'll see the total on all funds is $10,156,663.06. Then we've got a depository statement, bank to fund. You'll see that we are in balance with the bank, with all of our funds. That's a good thing. We want to be that way every month. And then we've got the fund transfer report. And once again, you're going to see fund transfers between banks, because I need to do that to cover those hard copy checks that are dated December 16th. And then we also have some transfers for school lunch, and then of course the one-time transfer each month for education ops. And then next you're going to have a list of expenditures in bond 2021. There's just a few on here. We've got a total expenditures in bond 2021 of $33,992,632.16. We are winding down on that. We've got a little nickel and diming that we can still kind of put towards that bond. So slowly but surely we're getting to our max on that. We're going to get that spent out. And then there were no new expenditures in bond 2022. And as we talked about last month, the GO bond 2024, that's actually being held within our funds here at school. We don't have to send affidavits out for payment on any bills. We actually house this bond here. So I just ran a fund detail report for you. So if you go to the very last page, if you had a chance to take a look at this, I've got it highlighted the revenue. You'll see what our total revenue was when we closed on the bond. And then in that right-hand column, I've got that highlighted, the expended. You can see to the end of November 2024, our total expenditures there. Did anyone have any questions about any of those? No? Okay. If you have any questions, I'd like to submit for approval.
Okay, thank you. All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Moving on to the Assistant Superintendent reports. Mrs. McPherson.
Yes, so all of our schools, K through 8, are completing their middle of the year assessments. Our middle school, we're doing our I-Learn Checkpoint 2. In our K through 5, we're doing our iReady and then our DIBBLE. So we still have some students who are making up. We don't have all the data in yet, so I will be sharing that in a data presentation in January, a comprehensive report to all of you. But it is trending in the right direction. It's really exciting. I'm really proud of our students, and I'm just very thankful for what our teachers are doing to get our students where they need to be. So I'm really excited to share that with you in January. And then on the high school end of it, last week the state did approve the new high school redesign diploma. And I'm grateful that our high school admin team has been on it. We have been talking about this since last school year. So we actually met this afternoon with the middle school too to iron out our plan for our incoming freshmen, what that's going to look like to make sure that all of our students have the courses they need, whether they're going to go to an enrollment, an employer, or enlistment when they graduate. So we're very excited about that, and we feel like that we are being really proactive with it. Any questions about any of those?
So are we actively, like, when are we going to start recruiting like the teachers that we're going to need to fill those spots, like computer science?
So we actually had our computer science discussion today, and we think we have somebody who is going to be able to do it who's in-house. So they're going to have that discussion with that teacher and see where we can put that. And a lot of our high school teachers are talking about, in addition to the ones who already have their dual credit certification, adding those dual credits and taking those courses.
Okay.
So like I said, the high school admin team has been very proactive in getting their staff ready to go with it. So I think we're in a really good place.
Excellent. Good work.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to introduce Jessica Lawless and Rebecca Hale. They're going to come up and share with you
their experience presenting at the middle school national conference down in Tennessee.
We are going to start with a brief background about the Just Serve organization that was started last year, and that will lead to our presentation. So around August last year, and this is all of these things are because of Rebecca. So my name will get listed several times, but it all goes back to her. So in August last year, she said, "Hey, I really want to start this club." At that point, I had started coaching volleyball, and I was like, "Girl, I have no time," right? So I said, "Wait until I'm done, and then here's what I need from you." I said, "I want a schedule. I want to know what you want to do, when we're going to meet, who's going to be in this club, and how we're going to find money." So our volleyball ended on October 1st. October 2nd, Rebecca came to me and had a written plan, had month by month detail on what she wanted to do and how we were going to raise that money. So I'll let you go.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about kind of how and why I started the club. So at the beginning of the year, I had this idea of just to start a club. I didn't really know what, but I was like, this would be really cool. And then I went to a summer camp, and I had a friend who started a dresser club in Brownsburg. And she was talking about how her mom helped her and everything. And I was just like, that would be really cool, and that would be really great at our school. Because service has always been in my life. That's the one thing that I kind of find joy. Kind of motivates me is serving others, and that kind of helps motivation. I was like, this would be really good for kids who are struggling. That is something that service builds confidence, and it puts your focus not on you, it puts your focus on others. And students, especially in middle school and high school, need that. Is they're at a super low self-conscious point, and so by doing service, they're going to build themselves up. And so I went to Miss Wallace. I worked everything out. I know what we did. Okay. So we made a month-by-month plan, but one thing that was really important was we asked the kids what do they want to do. And they came up with some really good ideas that were kind of more personal to school and our community, which made it really good. And so we ended up we made tie blankets for children waiting in DCS, which is kind of the foster care placement. We did a random acts of kindness where we personally sticky noted every single locker for all of our middle schoolers, which was really fun. We did a teacher appreciation month, so every week we did little things. We made them lanyards, we did them pizza and things like that. We did a dodgeball tournament, which raised food and needed items for our local humane society. And we invited the upcoming 6th graders to the 5th graders, and they had a blast, and it was really great. And then we made Christmas cards for senior citizens. We did backpacks full of items for students for DCS, and then kind of finished the year with one big project, which is called Convoy of Hope, which they make hiking kits and they ship it all around the world to wherever's needed. And so that was really, really great because we had the opportunity to affect locally both the students, our schools, our community, and then we were actually able to go globally, worldwide.
Yeah, and one thing we forgot to include was funding. So initially, before we had any avenues we wanted to seek out, we decided one easy way to raise funds was just to have a bake sale. So we got all the kids together, we baked a lot of stuff. We raised about $200 from our first 2 bake sales. But then a high school student actually approached Rebecca, who was in Youth Philanthropy. Thank you, Youth Philanthropy. So then Rebecca and I together wrote a Youth Philanthropy grant. She presented to the Youth Philanthropy Board, and they were so impressed by her that not only did they approve our grant, but they also asked her to join them, I think. They're like, whenever you can, come join us. So all of that kind of started in August, and then she explained what happened throughout the year. Late last fall, I had dinner with a friend who actually works for the Association of Middle Level Educators, AMLE. And she kind of told her about what we were doing, and she's like, that would be fantastic to present at our national conference. So we also applied for that earlier this year and found out January, February that we had been approved. And not only were we approved, but we were actually considered spotlight speakers. Yeah, spotlight speakers. So basically what that meant was we got a free stay at the Gaylord Opryland Resort. I got free conference registration, which I found out was very pricey, so I thought that was awesome. And then we got to, both have the experience of presenting at a national level conference that had over 2,000 people in attendance. 2,000 people did not come to our session. We had 25 signed up and only 4 showed up, but they were very engaging and it was a great experience for both of us. So, any questions? That's great.
No.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Very
Great
awesome.
job.
Very good.
That's all I have.
Was that all?
That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the superintendent, Mr. Gibney.
Yeah, I don't know how I follow that.
I don't know. That's gonna be a tough one.
Just serving and just kind of that example is, I mean, I think why we're all here. That's just
That's a good.
impressive and certainly a good opportunity for Rebecca.
Mhm.
Absolutely, it's nice to see our kids shine. I just have just kind of a few quick things this month. It just seems like every month is busier than the previous one. We've had several nice events since our last board meeting. We had I'll probably butcher this, the Bond Soiree, the jazz event in the McAnally lobby with Mrs. Munoz and her kids. It was a fantastic event. It was well attended. There's a lot of good feedback with that. And then certainly, we've had the band concert, the choir concert, Mr. Hanson, choir. Again, Mrs. Munoz and the band do an absolutely fantastic job. And then this past weekend, the middle school play, The Audition, performed over at the middle school on our stage over there. And feedback was very positive from that performance as well. And just another great opportunity for kids to shine. Greencastle, we have something for everyone, and that's going to be more true. And then obviously, wishing our high school students well as they finish up their final exams this week before heading into the holiday break. Like to thank Mrs. Amy Welliver for her years of service to Greencastle, and thank Mr. Welliver, Brett, for all of his volunteerism in our school district and community. As she retires, they're certainly going to be missed. And then just kind of on a heavy note, just keeping the Greenleaf family in our thoughts and prayers during this time. And then as we move into the holiday break, just wishing everybody safe and relaxing holiday season as we come back and see everybody.
Very good. I had an opportunity to attend most of those events. I do have to say they put on some very good events over the last month. So, yeah, the band concert was phenomenal. I heard there was a special visitor there that was pretty impressive.
A jolly old fella.
Jolly fella. Quite the dancer, I hear. Yep. And then the play, I went both nights of the play, and it was phenomenal as well. So kudos to everyone involved there. Very nice. All right, moving on to old business. We have none. New business. We have an approval request for K through 12 tech buyback proposal.
Yeah, so we just have Mr. Hill was working on some of our retired devices and seeking out the sale of them so that we can recoup some funds and reinvest those for future needs or uses. And so in your packet is a quote for that, which would net us some dollars to help us with our next purchase. And in order to move forward with that sale, we would need board approval.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. We have an approval request for permission to pay late arriving 2024 invoices.
Yep, so as is customary each year and every year, between the board meeting and between the end of the calendar year, we continue to have some bills come in, and all we are doing is seeking permission to pay 2024 invoices with 2024 appropriations. And then Mrs. Romer will report those items back to the board at our next board meeting.
All right. Any questions? Okay. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
All right. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion will carry. I have approval request for 2024-2025 ProCare Therapy Physical Therapist Odell Anderson.
Yep, so this is a contracted service. We're hoping it's in the very, very short term, just to help continue to provide services for some of our students. And Mrs. Sullivan continues to work on a more longer term approach with that.
Any questions on that? Okay, hearing none. Can I get a motion? Motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion will carry. I have an approval request for an MOU with Behavioral Health Services and Synergy Therapy Counseling LLC.
Yeah, as you can imagine, mental health and behavioral health is a significant need in our community, and not just our community, around our state and the country. And certainly we work with Cummins and have several of their staff members throughout our schools. But we just want to make sure that we're able to fill all needs. And so Becky and the council team have approached Synergy, the Synergy Therapy and Counseling LLC group, and this is essentially to kind of help fill the additional gaps. And it means that we'll still continue to work with Cummins, but we have the ability to bring on additional partners to help us. And so we just want to make sure that all of our kids get the services that they need. And if we have to work with multiple different organizations due to staffing challenges or staffing shortages, we will. And so in order to move forward with that, this is just a memorandum of understanding. There's no cost to us on this. It's just basically an additional partnership, and we're formalizing that agreement.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion will carry. All right, we have an approval request for a resolution to authorize deposit account with Everwise Credit Union or First National Bank.
Yep. So Mrs. Romer has been working with Mrs. Goodpaster on potentially opening another additional bank account specifically for the Tiger Cub Collective. And essentially, in order to do that, we have to have board action resolution in order to move forward. Is anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, that's it. But I think we're going to go with Everwise. So I wasn't sure when we were doing the agenda, so that's why I wanted you to put both.
Okay. I had that silly look. I'm like, okay. All right. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right. Have a second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion will carry. I have a approval request for the 2026 GMS Global Travel Program proposal to Italy.
Yeah, so I think you might recall the EF educational tours. Some of our students in the high school have participated in some of the educational trips. It's been just a good experience. Typically, when you go as a group, it's at a reduced cost. And potentially, you get to see a lot more places than the average person would get to see. And so, based on the success of that, our middle school would like to look at organizing a similar tour through EF Tours. And so, Mrs. Lawless has submitted paperwork and information. This is just very early stages because, as you might know, there's a lot of planning and obviously potentially for some of our families fundraising and saving. A lot of time to put into this, and so before they take any additional steps to move forward with that, they wanted to submit all the paperwork and information to the board to see if it's something that the board would support, and so that's why we have it on the agenda for board approval. Because this is a trip in 2026. Yes, March of 2026, which will also align with our scheduled spring break, our spring break schedule, so same time. Potentially a good opportunity for some of our students.
This is like grades 5 through 7.
Yeah, because they would be sixth grade then. Yep.
Like currently, not at that time.
Right. Because you pay every year.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Just making sure that I was tracking it. The group that would be going.
Yep.
Sorry.
What's the chaperone to participant ratio?
To my knowledge, it's 6 to 1. So for each 6 students that sign up for the trip, we get an additional chaperone spot. So we have myself plus 4 other staff members already lined up. We book 6, we do the staff book 6. And that can include parents. So like the built-in chaperone out there as well, but they would be included in this.
Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Good luck. Probably get a bunch of little bells you have to put on everybody. Don't know how you do it. Okay, we have an approval request for several donations. It looks like Putnam County Community Foundation 2024 Darrell Wyatt Family Philanthropy essay contest at Greencastle Middle School in the amount of $500.
Yeah, so a little bit more on that. Alex Gernon
Mm-hmm.
wrote an essay, and his essay was selected for that, and so that's why
very
it was
cool.
there. So it's a really neat thing and really cool.
That's very nice. I like that. We have Bethel Baptist Church, the Greencastle High School FCA in the amount of $634. Jeff and Denise Sigworth to Greencastle High School 2025 Top 10% Dinner in the amount of $1,500. Jeff and Denise Sigworth to Greencastle High School Middle School FFA in the amount of $1,000. S&W Feed Center to Greencastle High School Middle School FFA in the amount of $500. Fairmont Door to Greencastle High School Middle School FFA in the amount of $500. And Professional Data Analyst to Greencastle High School Middle School FFA in the amount of $500. All right. Any questions on that? Now, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you very much, everyone there involved. All right, we have an approval request for the second reading of the Neola policies. Looks like the 2460 special education and the 2460.02 least restrictive environment.
Yeah, so these were shared with last month for first reading, so this is a second reading and adoption. And this, if you might remember, this dealt specifically, there's an incorrect reference made to being a member of Old National Trail. Obviously, we know that's not the case,
Mhm.
and so we wanted to update our policy to be current.
Okay. Does this one require action this evening?
Yes, this
Okay.
requires support.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any questions on this?
Nope.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. All right, and in adding 8I, we have our board resolution. Mr. Gibbon.
Yep, so, in your packet, I shared with you a copy of the resolution. Essentially, we received a $9,802.39 distribution, from the Indiana Department of Education. And we are to distribute this to teachers who specifically impacted literacy. And so you have a list of teachers included in the resolution, and these teachers are specific to K to 3, because that's within the terms of the grant. And so we just need to pass this board resolution so that we can distribute these stipends per ideally requirements.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. All right. Do we have any other business?
Did want to mention that I participated in the interviews at the middle school that Brittany Labhart does, and I was blown away by the kids that we have and their ability to speak to adults in a professional manner, dress professionally, and I think it's wonderful to see that we're doing that. And I know she's done it for a couple of years, but I think it's a great opportunity for the kids. And I think it's a great opportunity for others like myself to get into the school and see that the product that we're putting out there. And I put them up against anybody, so it was an awesome experience. So thank you, Brittany and Clemens, for having me in that.
Yep, thank you. Volunteer.
Very cool. Anything else?
Yeah.
Watch our wonderful elementary principals shooting that half-court basket.
I heard somebody really made a shot last year.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Brittany's been practicing, I hear.
I heard there was some balling going on over there. I don't know what's been happening. Double dribble.
it's always a fun night.
No, you can't. No pressure, Brandon.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, as this year wraps down we're getting close to the end of December now with the holidays and whatnot. I want to take this opportunity to thank the board. This is my first year officially as the president here, so it's been hectic. I want to thank the board, Mr. Gibney, the staff, the students, and the parents of Greencastle Corporation for a wonderful year. I think we've had a very great year with Greencastle Community Schools. A lot of good things with the buildings and the classes and the students, staff. It's been a great year. So thank you, everyone. Happy holidays. All right. If we have nothing further, can I get a motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Safe travels.